I'm Dan Abrams, and we are on patrol live with 8 departments around the country, including our new department in Toledo, Ohio, where officers have pulled over a vehicle, and one of the passengers is refusing to identify himself.
Speak up. At this point, I'm just going to pull you out of the car if you're not going to identify yourself, okay? Make it real simple. What's your last name?
What's your relationship to him?
Oh, he's a friend of mine.
How long you been friends with him for?
A couple months.
Does he always act like this, or what's going on tonight?
He's always quiet.
All right, you want to pop him out?
Yeah, we're going to pop him out.
Unlock your doors, please.
My door's already unlocked.
His door. I want his door unlocked.
All right. Step out.
Excuse me.
Step out. Do you hear what I'm saying? Step out, or I'm going to rip you out of the car. It's one of two things.
Come on up.
Get out of the car.
Come on, step on out.
Step on out.
Step on out.
Step on out of the car.
Step on out of the car. Come on. Step.
Hold up. I don't give y'all permission to record anything.
Okay, that's fine, but we're talking to
Turn
him.
that off.
Get him.
Turn that off.
Step out, sir.
Turn that off.
Hey, we're going to pull.
Turn that.
We're going to tell him. We're going to.
Can y'all tell them to turn this
Ma'am,
camera
let
off?
us deal with him first, and then we'll deal with the camera, okay?
Yes, I do.
Step it out, man. Come on up. Yes, you do have to give us your
We're
ID.
at Detroit door.
Come on up.
Come
on up.
Okay, so I shouldn't have to speak to them, right?
No.
Because you have license and insurance. So
That doesn't matter. At this point, I've asked you to identify yourself.
Step up.
you have license and insurance.
All right, step
No.
out. All right, you got anything on you shouldn't have? You're going to be detained.
Insurance because, so I shouldn't even have to speak to them.
Come to is fine.
You have license and insurance.
Yeah, it doesn't matter about her having license insurance. That's not helping you.
But back all the way back here, boss.
Back here.
You got license and insurance, so I shouldn't even have to speak to them, right?
You should have to talk to us because you're not wearing a
You're not
seatbelt.
wearing a seatbelt, okay? So I can cite you. Once I have a reason to cite you, you have to identify yourself.
You're
I gave you
making this
several
complicated.
times.
No,
So
I didn't do anything wrong.
Are you wearing a seatbelt?
you could have gotten done with this like a while ago, man.
I don't have an ID on me.
What's your name?
What's your name? You realize, you know, I got all night to do this, so I really don't care. You want me to spend 8 hours with you? That's fine.
What's your name?
You want
man?
a ticket? That's fine. But you're the one kind of making your own decisions here, man. I'm going to double lock it just so we don't talk. No,
So what's your
at this
name,
point,
man?
he's going to go to
Just make
jail.
it simple so we can be out of here.
So what are we seeing here? What we're seeing is these officers have pulled this man out of the vehicle because he didn't ID. Sole purpose is they're pulling him up because he did not identify. Now once he got out, they told him he was being detained. Then they told him, after he was being detained, that, well, you didn't have your seatbelt on, so now I get to ID you. Now, we can tell they never told this man about the seatbelt before this moment because they would have said something along the lines of, look, man, you ain't wearing your seatbelt. I can give you a citation. I can ID you. They would have said that repeatedly. Look, man, you ain't got a seatbelt on. I can ID you. Give it to me or I'll arrest you. Could be a citation. Like what the way they changed their talking towards the end there. This can be easy. This can be difficult. You know, just a citation maybe and be gone with it. So when they drug him out, it was not because there was a fear of a weapon, Pennsylvania v. Mimms, which is what gives them the authority to remove them from the vehicle. They did it strictly because they wanted his ID. You do not have to identify yourself if you're not the driver of a vehicle. You are not the person that they think has committed, is committing, or about to commit some kind of crime or traffic infraction. So now, let's look at Toledo Police Department's policy for search and seizures without a warrant. And them going into his pockets absolutely is a search. Alright, Toledo Police Department policy is Directive 402.2. This is the search and seizure without a warrant. Well, search by consent. The officers do not need a search warrant when an individual voluntarily consents to a search. Absolutely correct. They do not need a search warrant if they have consent. 2. The consent must voluntarily be given. No coercion or anything like that. Silence does not imply consent. He was quiet. He didn't say yes, no. Again, no coercion here. Whenever possible, a written waiver should be obtained, which no one's going to sign a waiver, right? Now here's the stop and frisk. Terry v. Ohio. When an officer observes a situation where the actions of a person lead him or her to believe that criminal activity may be occurring or may have occurred, the officer has the right and duty to make an investigatory stop. If, while the stop is being conducted, officers feel they have articulable reason to fear for their safety, i.e. may be armed, the person may be, what's this, patted down. Now this is if they fear for their safety. At no point did these officers say, do you have a gun or anything like that. When they got him out, you have anything on you shouldn't have. They didn't, you know, oh yeah, I think he's got a gun and pat him down for that reason. No, strictly because he was quiet. Silence is not an admission of guilt. Right? Right here, silence does not imply consent, and silence is not guilt. Now, facts observed by an officer may be combined with the following to justify a stop. This is justifying a stop, right? Now, note, they actually have to put this in here. Officers shall not stop, detain, question, or arrest a person based solely on characteristics of race, ethnicity, or gender identity, or sexual orientation. Stop and frisk. Terry v. Ohio. We are not a stop and frisk state. Toledo is not a stop and frisk city. Unless there is reasonable, articulable suspicion, they have articulable reasons, right, to fear for their safety. This is when an officer observes a situation where the actions of a person lead him or her to believe their criminal activity may be afoot, basically. Alright, they have the right and duty to make an investigatory stop. Man, that word gets me, don't it? But this man strictly remaining silent to them is not an admission of any kind of a guilt. It is not consent for anything, and it is not a reason to pull him out of the car. Silence is not a threat of violence, and this is the problem with TPD. This is the very first time this new show on Patrol Live has shown TPD, and they have them going into this man's pockets. This says the person may be patted down for weapons. It does not say they go in their pockets. This cop went into all of his pockets. His front pants pockets, his jacket pockets. Not because there's a weapon. There was no pat either. You notice they don't go around his waistband. This was strictly looking for ID because they are upset that he just remained quiet. Way to start the show, TPD.
Alright. We're just going to leave until we have another crew here with us. Is this her?
This is Erica.
Alright.
Yeah, that's me, sir.
Alright. You got like warrants or something?
I do not give you permission to video in the car, please.
To what?
No, I said I don't give him permission to video in the car. I will.
Alright, we'll do that in a second, Erica.
Erica, we'll be up with you in a minute right now.
Come on with
Your
us.
friend is...
Come on, you're going to have a seat in the back of this car now. Come on.
1154 on scene.
So it begins. No, we have to ID this guy first. He didn't want to pass. No, they want to step out.
Okay. The reason why, okay, he's not wearing a seatbelt. Just so everybody's clear, he's not wearing a seatbelt. At best, it would have been a citation.
It's just
The cameras, I get it, okay. They're filming the whole situation, okay. So if you don't want them to film, I get that. I can respect that, okay.
What's he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Asked him for his ID. Didn't want to tell us anything. So right now he's in custody for failure to disclose one's personal information. Under Ohio law, if you're riding in the front
Got to
seat,
go to Marion County right now.
Thank you, TPD, for doing such a bang-up job violating this man's rights. I promise you I'll find out what his name is and get this footage to his attorney. You guys should just find out who he is, drop the charges altogether, save yourself the embarrassment. Man, I didn't even have to get arrested for this one.